These two words are, though interconnected, but not clearly defined anywhere. Till Baba defined this. Culture, Baba says, are different expressions of life. But our expressions, which are not beneficial to others, our control over such expressions is called civilization. The present civilization may claim to be very cultured, but we are to think in terms of Baba's explanation, whether we can call it really civilized. Can we pretend to be civilized? Then if we are civilized, why are we so scared? So Baba opens his speech. This is RU speech delivered in 1966 at Patna. Baba opens the first with two doubts. Fear and doubt. There is fear of extinction. There fear of total decay. Everybody is scared due to the scientific discoveries and the misuse of scientific technology. If two great powers, atomic powers, become mad for 10 minutes, the whole globe will be turned into ash. But then what is the future? This is the fear. The fear of water crisis, the fear of population, the fear of growing temperature of this earth, all sorts of fear. And the doubt that we may not survive tomorrow. These two are haunting every thinking mind. Through this speech, Baba gives a new hope. And he heralds the new era of new dawn. Not philosophically. Baba is not soothsayer. He proves it scientifically. Baba's approach is pointed like an arrow. He pointed. Whatever he says, it has meaning. Concerned with our day-to-day life and distant future. So there is no cause of any fear. There is no concern for our future. The future is very bright. How? And then Baba continues. He says, as in the individual life, so in the collective life. It depends on three factors. First time in the human history, such an idea, I say this is divine idea, first time in human thinking, has come, the existence of unit in the society, Asti and the samasti, depends on three factors. Asti, that is, Asti is Sanskrit word. All three are Sanskrit words. Asti means hai, is. It exists. It is there. Asti. Bhati is Vibhati, development. and Anandam, the bliss, at the point everything culminates in that point. Is Anandam. Therefore, in Anand Sutram, Baba says, Anandam Brahm Ityahu. Brahm is Ananda Swarup. My role now through this lecture is different. So, coming to the first point, Asti, the individual's Asti depends on how many factors. We need food. If we don't get food for days together, you can imagine the physical condition. We also need clothes to cover our body. It is very important. Shelter, education for knowledge, and the medical facilities in case of any disease for our survival. They are the 5 essentials of life on which our Asti depends, our existence depends. The Asti of collective life depends similarly on other related physical conditions of life. So is the condition of this earth, the solar system, this entire nebular system, this entire universe depends on this. As we are seeing the growing temperature, the increasing temperature of this planet, Baba says, one day the Earth's temperature may be just like sun's temperature. Then this fear is confirmed that we will no longer be there, will be finished. Then also, Baba not only gives hopes against hopes, but he proves it. Don't worry. Our body perishes one day. But we don't die. Upanishads proclaim so openly this fact. This goes beyond doubts that everything does not die with you. So, if this planet Earth becomes a place where we no longer survive, then the body will shift to some other planet. The Baba gives more emphasis on scientific discoveries and technology, and not to be scared. Mind is stronger than the atom bomb. So Baba is not in favor of rearmament, he is in favor of armament, just to maintain the balance of all. It is mind which is dangerous, not the atom bomb. So our existence on this planet, Earth, is not denied. We will survive very much. Baba talks of rocket. We will design rockets and will shift the population to the other planet. When Baba first talked of laboratory babes in 60s, people could not imagine. Isn't it now a reality? So Baba gives this hope to frustrated this present industry.
Recording in progress.
So we have not to be scared and not to fear. and not to doubt also. Sanshayatma vinashyati. So Baba is Dharma Guru, not as soothsayer. Baba is Mahasambhuti here, declares that don't worry, I am here with you, with my brahman. Fear not, I am with you. So our Asti in individual life and collective life at this planet is not denied, it's not in danger. Baba says in this very pravachan that it's not enough that we exist. Our Asti is guaranteed. It's not enough. The earthworm have survived for millions of years, but still it is there in that form. Is it enough? So this Asti is not enough for the survival of this civilization or any civilization. The history has recorded 21 types of civilization, and all these civilizations have been urban based. Baba started a new civilization on the Shravani Purnima day of 1939. This is Tantric village civilization. And his plan is to make the whole globe a human family. When there is no disparity, there is no exploitation of any form, physical, mental, or spiritual. So he has given the philosophy to herald a new civilization. And it has already started. The current of Saraswati is not seen, but it's there. It has begun. So, Baba says, Asti, for Asti, don't worry, don't get scared, don't fear, fear not. Think about the Bhati. On this, the rise and fall of civilizations is best. This civilization, the word civilization, the term civilization has been great study by the microhistorians. Tunisian philosopher Ibn Khaldun, Marx, Arnold Toynbee, Spengler, and above all Baba. Everybody contributed to this field of civilization. Baba tops the list. Ibn Khaldun says it is the Asibia which is responsible for rise and fall of civilization. Toynbee says it is challenge and response that is responsible for rise and fall of civilization. Baba says it is Asti, Bhati and Ananda that is responsible for rise and fall of civilization. Coming to the point of Bhati. What is this Bhati? Bhati is development, Vibhati. And Baba has given 6 factors of Bhati, which is so easy but so difficult to practice. But this is a must for any civilization. In case of any factor missing, the civilization meets its bottom. In case of presence of all these civilizations, there is rise and there is golden day of civilization. So the day is sure to come when this civilization fully blooms. The first factor of Bhati is spiritual ideology. The spiritual ideology explains our self and consciousness. That we spend, we rather misuse the major portion of our energy. Some energy remains unused, some misused, a very little is used. So the ideology, the philosophy that explains our energy factor is called spiritual ideology. Next is spiritual cult. The spiritual cult is to convert the 5 fundamentals that we consume through food and drink, the energy, into ectoplasm. Ectoplasm into consciousness. Spiritual ideology without spiritual cult is lame, cannot work. Unless it is translated into action, it is of no use. And then the spiritual ideology one day becomes dogma and starts exploiting priesthood, clergies, mullahs, fathers, exploiters exploiting in the name of dogma, and the spiritual people are defamed in absence of the spiritual cult. Third is socio-economic philosophy. Socio-economic philosophy that explains the utilization and distribution of human and material resources and explains how to administer exploitation-less society. So this is missing. First time in the entire gamut of philosophy, starting from Greeks up to Bertrand Russell and Dewey in West, and in East, from Sankhya to Advaita Vedanta, from Kapil to Vadrayan Vyas. One thing has been missing always, the socio-economic philosophy. In 85 Sutras of Anand Sutram, the 5th chapter is rendered on the socio-economic philosophy. It adds the second wing to the bird. Now the bird can fly. The bird of philosophy can fly. The first time in the history of mankind, in the history of thinking, a comprehensive philosophy has been. But any socio-economic philosophy, in absence of social outlook, cannot do anything. Such a developed civilization like Roman civilization, it forms part of one of the 21 civilizations historically recorded. It failed due to slave system. God created human beings. We divided into rich and poor, black and white, small and tall, ladies and gents. Therefore, unless we develop the social outlook, socio-economic philosophy cannot be translated into action. Therefore, the propounder of Anand Marg, the president of RU, wants exploitation-free society, where there is no exploitation at any level, physical, psychic, or spiritual. Nobody is forced to lead a tortured life. The next point is scripture, Shastra. In absence of this Shastra, because Shastra is Shasana Taret Yahasa Shastra Parikirtitaha, that which administers with the intention of liberating people. Its object is liberation. Tarayat, liberation from bondages. And these are supposed to be three: Dharma Shastra, Darshan Shastra, and Samaj Shastra. There are Shastras, but they needed updating. If we read a book of geography now, written about 80 years before, anybody can read that the capital of Punjab is Lahore. So if somebody answers in Union Public Service Commission interview that the capital of Punjab is Lahore, how many marks he will be able? Therefore, there are Shastras, but they are not up to date. Dharma Shastra, Darshan Shastra, and Samaj Shastra. In absence of Samaj Shastra, a comprehensive Samaj Shastra, a unified code, human society is disintegrated. Baba, in form of Darshan Shastra, gave Anand Sutram. When there was a conference at Varanasi, this Anand Sutram, major Panditas of Kashi Vidvat Samaj accepted this in my absence, in my presence. Sorry. So Dharma Shastra, that which comes from Guru, that which comes from the mouth directly from Guru is Dharma. Because Dharma is the nature, Subhav. That is nature of fire is to burn. The nature of water is to provide coolness. So, this Dharma Shastra Swasi Sangra forms part of Dharma Shastra and Samaj Shastra is Charya, do's and don'ts. Due to the progressive nature of Charya, it can give guidance to the human society, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, racial feelings, to everybody globally. So this three Shastra is for the guidance of human society. In absence of this, we cannot form one human society. And this is the cry of the day, cry of time. Here lies the solution to all the problems. Because in presence of billions of human-like beings, still we crave for good human beings. One poet has very rightly said, लाखों बरस हुए इंसान आया वजूद में, आंखें तरसती है आदमी. And the sixth factor is the preceptor, the guide. In absence of the guide, nothing can be implemented. So all these six factors of Bhati are the make and break the situation. In one of the missing factor in this entire history of civilization of 21 civilizations, hitherto, as per Arnold Toynbee, 6 originals and 15 connected civilizations. But one thing is very sure, that in absence of one of the factors of Bhati, the civilizations broke. In any civilization, one thing won't be relevant to say, in any civilization, this development depends on utilization and distribution system of the administration. If the leadership, the administration is efficient and moral, then out of the economic surplus, the civilization grows. And it reaches its height. But because here one thing is that clearly comes into picture, that Baba has mentioned in this lecture, in his pravachan, that which is very important, it is imperative, that the leadership for the rise of any civilization is very important. And the leadership has been a matter of concern in every age, with every civilization. The first it comes into picture, starting with the Greek civilization. Socrates must have mentioned his disciples, but it starts with Plato. Seeing the condition of Greek states, Plato conceived the idea of philosopher king in his thesis, The Republic, that the power should be given to those who want it little, and those are philosophers. It should be in their hands. Then comes in West Marx. His concept of leadership was proletariat dictator. But both have seen, all the countries, communist countries have seen who in the form of proletariat dictator appeared and what became the fate. Confucius talk of sage. Nietzsche talk of Superman. And Nietzsche said, it is most immoral to be weak. So he applied Darwinian principle of survival of the fittest. But Hitler took himself to be the Superman leader. That caused the Berlin Wall. This is the fate of the thinking leadership concept in the Western philosophy. So far, not a single philosopher king could be created on the basis of what Plato thought. Not the Confucius ideas of leadership could be implemented. We have seen the Marxian concept of leadership, successful or failure, the history decides. But Baba, in his very speech, has not left this topic also untouched of leadership. And this lecture talks of Sadvipra leadership. Plato could not give a mechanism how a philosopher king could be produced. If you reread it, you will start not smiling but laughing. That at the age of 5, children from the best-born families, the elites, should, if not willingly, forcibly taken. And they should be kept under strict watch and discipline. And up to 15 years, they should not be allowed to read and write, but play, sports. As any philosophy is the product of that land, and Greeks were sports people, as per Baba's study of social history, that was Kshatran age. And Kshatran age dominates with sports, physicality. And the psychology becomes Veer Bhagya Vasundhara. From 15 years to 25, they should be given different type of education. Art and culture and martial arts and everything. Administration, everything. From 25 to 35, they should be left to study the world affairs. Because at the age beyond 35, they are to emerge as philosopher king. This was his prescription. But not only the lifetime of Plato or Aristotle, or entire Greek philosophers, or entire Western philosophy, not a single philosopher king could be created. Therefore, it is called utopia. Baba says, this leadership also is the need of time. With your permission, I'd like to comment one thing. Baba is not philosopher. I'm sorry to say. Baba is basically a dharma guru. but being kind to humanity. Whatever he has said, he has given, we may call it philosophy. And then in that sense, reluctantly, you may call him a philosopher, but Baba is not philosopher. मसी कागज छुयो नहीं, कलम गयो नहीं गा, जिसके पास कोई लाइब्रेरी नहीं. So he says, Sadvipras are the creation of the churning of society. Mark this. Therefore, he says, Baba is practical Guru. He talks the matter concerned with the solid earth, dust of this earth. Therefore, he touches. His ideas penetrate deep into mind. He says, out of social churning, those who have tremendous fighting spirit and love for you, remaining confining himself to one room, he gave two things. He's unique. Baba is unique. When you try to find Baba within Baba, what do you find? What do we get? The mind. Baba is the mind that goes beyond the horizon, that goes beyond the galaxies. But he is so concerned about the day-to-day struggle and conflicts of, isn't it unique? His second uniqueness is, though he is such, but one marvelous thing within him is, he did not form any political party to capture power. Rather, he is concerned about the human beings. And throughout the life, he went on creating human beings. What type of human beings? Who could be global citizen, who take up the task that 18th and 19th century left behind by Adam Smith and Marx, crying for equity and justice, science and growth. That is only possible by creation of such men who are concerned about the humanity, about the collective body. And he created unique institution of sannyasins and friendly people, unique in the history of mankind. His concept of leadership is Sadvipra. Sadvipra, Sadvipra. Those who fail to be Sadvipra will become Sadvipra. Those who follow the tenets of theory and practice become Sadvipra and will work for global change. Today or tomorrow, maybe 50 years after or 100 years after. The world has no go than to accept and materialize the philosophy of Shishya. And in this tool, the leader is Sadvipra. Sadvipra is not sannyasi or grihi. Sadvipra is the spirit. There is no bar. Anybody can be Sadvipra. With the spirit of ceaseless fire against all exploitation. and dedicated to the cause of suffering. And how they will do? Unique prescription Baba has given. How the sadhupran will do? They will do pranayam. Which pranayam? Karkat pranayam, sahaj pranayam, sadharan pranayam, kumbhak pranayam. Which pranayam? Peculiar pranayam. You know, in pranayam there are three parts of pranayam. Purak. When we breathe in, fill up our lungs with bladder with full blood. Yeah. This is Purak. So Sadvipra will do Purak, and everything that traveling the human society will take inside, inhale, and digest within with the power of their spiritual force and its mantra, assimilate within, that is Kumbhak. They will be Nilkant, digest it. Rechak, they will release the goodness, the brotherhood, the peace, the solidarity, the happiness, and the bliss. Ultimately, they will create a global system that will be full of anandam, where sarve bhamant sukhina, sarve bhamant sit niramaya. That is the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, his prescription is Asti, Bhati, and lastly Anandam. Through my viewers, I like to point everybody to that point. But take it back home, a bit of it, whether I too have some role to play in this venture. All great men have come and gone, leave behind their thought. People read Gita. Many people think that had I been with Gita, Lord Krishna was there. At least those who have seen Baba physically, they know it. Isn't it their duty to come forward, to gather their loincloths, combat the march of events, and join hands together in the spirit of Sangha Chaddam Sangvadaddam, the Vedic mantra, and make concerted effort, because this is high time. The whole globe is an open ground. Everybody is hopeless, frustrated. Here is the ray of hope. Dushyant has very rightly said, एक चादर सांझ ने फैला दी सारे नगर पर, ये अंधेरे की सड़क उस भोर तक जाती तो है. The whole world is walking through or standing, not walking, a dark road. But this road that Sri Anand Mudriji, our Gurudev, has opened, on which we are walking, leads to the new dawn, where he is waiting to welcome. Should we keep sleeping? फिर भी हम सोते रहेंगे क्या? कब जगेंगे? Swami Vivekananda very rightly quoted from the Upanishad, Utishtat Jagrat Prapya Varadhivondat Bodhat. उठो, जगो, चलो. अब तब तक रुको मत जब तक तुम पहुंचो। अगर इस चीज को हम अपनाते हैं, और लगता है हमको कि बाबा का 66 पटना का स्पीच आरयू का उनके लिए है और ये टाइमली है, क्योंकि आज आरयू सेंट्रल सेक्रेटरी ने ये पहले इनके इसमें इस बाबा के लेक्चर को रहा, बाबा इनको ब्लेस दे, इनके हाथ में जश दे, इनसे काम करवाएं कि फ्यूचर ऑफ सिविलाइजेशन लोगों के दिमाग में बैठ जाए। अगर जो सुनते हैं उनके दिमाग में बैठ गया तो इतने दे आर एनफ फॉर चेंज, ब्रिंगिंग चेंजेस ग्लोबली। तो हमको लगता है कि सभ्यता का भविष्य अवश्य ही ब्राइट है। हमको तो लगता है आपके चेहरों से जो हमारे सामने हैं, वो चेहरे भी कह रहे हैं वो कुछ करना चाहेंगे। इसलिए चलो आज हम एक मिलकर के संकल्प ले कि हम आनंद परिवार के जो समझते हैं कि बाबा हमारे भगवान हैं, जो कहे हैं वो होगा, तो क्यों नहीं मेरे द्वारा। इसलिए हम इसमें हाथ बटाए। इन शब्दों के साथ मैं विराम देना चाहूंगा आपको, नमस्कार दे करके बाबा को फिर साष्टांग करके। परमपिता बाबा की जय।